I know you're getting this late, hybrid JS students, and I know if this is due on by Monday, so it's going to be short, but I did want you to look at the difference between chapter 1 of the creation story and chapter 2. You did a close read and came up with some questions, and I hope you have found that there's a lot going on in the second story of creation that is similar enough for us to be asking, what's it even doing there? Didn't we already learn all this stuff already? It can't be that the Torah is just repeating this just because. And that's really what we're going to be looking at today. Why is it that the Torah is repeating what it is saying in chapter 2, or is it repeating? Are we getting new information that's necessary to understand the creation story? We get a hint already that there's a lot in common with the in chapter 2 with chapter 1, because this is the first chapter, the first sentence, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et ha'aretz. In the beginning, God created heavens and the earth, and we find a similar idea right here. Eila toldot, these are the generations of Shamayim and Aretz. Like here, Shamayim and Aretz, heaven and earth, when it was created on the day of the making. But then we get this two things that kind of say, oh my goodness, be prepared for something new, because we have a new name of God, actually not a new name of God, but we have the old name with a new additional name of God, right? Interestingly enough, we know that this name of God, the Yud He Vav He, will become separate and used primarily in the Torah alone, not with this together. So there's some kind of a joining of these names together, and then we get a reversal of we get earth and heaven instead of heaven and earth. So that already points to something different. Do you know what that something, what is your prediction of what that something different is? Let's now compare these two stories, and I'll put my head right down here so you don't really see it. And let's really look at what we can compare and contrast. And I'll be asking a bunch of questions for this right now. So here's our first question here. The day of creation of people is in chapter 1 versus chapter 2. You should have gotten this as your answer. Day 6 is the final day of creation in chapter 1, and people are created before rain and before shrubs and anything is sprouted. It seems probably like day number 1. What about the creation? What is created before people? What is created after people? Okay. In chapter 1, animals and creepy things are. Chapter 2, nothing but heaven and earth is created before. All other stuff is created after. People are number 1. How is man created? Chapter 1 doesn't really say, but by God. Chapter 2 is from the dust of the earth. And certainly chapter 1 has actually maybe another being, since it says plural us. Okay. How is woman created? Chapter 1 versus chapter 2. Chapter 1 doesn't really say, but by God, and seemingly in the very similar way that Adam is created. And in chapter 2, woman is created from the rib. Who creates man? God and mysterious other, like let us. In chapter 2, it's very much God. Who creates woman? Again, God and mysterious other, like let us. And chapter 2 is God. Why is man created? Chapter 1 versus chapter 2. Chapter 1 is so God can have an image. Chapter 2 is to do all the work that creation would require, right? Why is woman created? Chapter 1, so that God can have an image. Chapter 2, because man is lonely and didn't find a friend or a companion among the animals. What is the relationship of man to woman, meaning who's created first, who's created second? Chapter 1 versus chapter 2, both created at the same time. No one is naming anyone. Chapter 2, woman is part of man, and woman is created because of man. Woman is named by man. What blessing command is given to man and woman? Chapter number 1, increase and multiply, fill the earth, and rule over everything and eat all the fruit. Chapter 2 is eat from the garden, but do not eat from the tree of knowledge. This is a blessing restricted to one place on earth, the garden, rather than the world in his living arena. And let's make sure we understand this is a command given to whom, right? Man, woman, man and woman, right? And what is the reaction of God to his act of creation? Chapter 1, not just good, but this idea of very good, and very good includes people, right? And chapter 2, there's no real reaction at all. What's the reaction of Adam to the creation of Eve? there's no reaction in chapter 1. Chapter 2 is there's a lot of excitement. So there are 7 big differences. Can you figure out what those of this chart here? What are our 7 big differences? Right. One is the in relationship to everything else that is created, man is created. Right. And people in general are created. Timing, when male and female is created. Why are people created? Men and women are commanded. God's reaction to creation, Adam's reaction to the creation of women. Those are the big differences, and we will spend time in class analyzing those. All right, that's it.